Have you ever stopped to wonder what's happening behind the scenes when you're playing a game on your phone or scrolling through an app? It's not just magic, you know. There's this incredible engine that makes our entire digital world work. And today, we're going to pop the hood and see what makes it tick. Seriously, think about it for a second. Every time you buy something online, or check your bank account, or even save your progress in a video game, all that information has to go somewhere, right? It needs to be kept safe. So, what's doing all that work? Well, the answer is something called a database. The easiest way to think about it is like a giant, super organized digital filing cabinet. And for the really big companies, these digital cabinets can cost a fortune. I'm talking millions and millions of dollars. But here's the crazy part. What if I told you that one of the absolute best, most powerful databases in the entire world doesn't cost a single dime? Yep, and that's the story we're going to get into today.
So this whole situation created a huge problem in the world of technology. Let's call it the database dilemma. Basically, companies had a really tough choice to make.
Okay, so on one side you've got your traditional databases. Yeah, they're really powerful, but they cost a ton of money. And worse, they kind of trap you into using only their stuff. It's like buying a video game console that will only play super expensive games made by just one company. But on the other side, you have these things called open source databases. They're free, they're flexible, and they're built by a whole community of people working together. And that's where our hero enters the story. Its name is PostgreSQL, and trust me, it completely changed the game.
So what is this thing really? Well, PostgreSQL is an open source database. Open source is just a fancy way of saying it's built by a giant team of super smart people from all over the world who all share their work for free. And it's famous for being incredibly trustworthy and packed with awesome features.
And get this, it's not some new kid on the block. PostgreSQL got its start way back in 1986 at a really famous school, the University of California, Berkeley. For decades now, a worldwide community has been making it better and better, stronger and faster every single year. Here's a really cool way to think about it. Imagine one of those big, expensive databases, like Oracle, is a super fancy luxury car. You know, it's nice, but it costs a ton. Now, imagine PostgreSQL is like a high-performance race car that a team of the best mechanics from all over the planet build together in their spare time. And then they just give it to you for free. Pretty awesome, right? So here's the bottom line. You basically get the best of everything. It has what they call enterprise-grade reliability, which just means it's super safe and trustworthy for really important information, just like the expensive ones. It's also really flexible, so it can handle all kinds of modern data, like maps and other complex stuff. And of course, the best part, the price is zero. Nothing. Zilch. Okay, so all that theory is cool, but how does this thing actually work in the real world? Let's pretend for a minute that we're building a brand new website. So when you build any kind of app or website, it usually follows a few simple steps. First, you gotta have a plan for what information you need to save. Second, you draw up a blueprint for that digital filing cabinet we talked about. Third, you build all the connections so your app can actually talk to the database. And fourth, you just have to keep it all running nice and smooth. And PostgreSQL is right there, helping with every single step. And yeah, keeping it running involves a few important chores. Think of a command called vacuum as like a digital janitor. It comes in and cleans up all the old, unused data to keep things neat and tidy. Backups are, well, they're your essential safety copy, just in case something ever goes wrong. And indexing is like creating a super fast table of contents for a book, so the database can find any piece of information in the blink of an eye. And the people building this stuff aren't just flying blind. There are all these amazing tools that help developers manage everything. It doesn't matter if they like clicking buttons on a screen or typing in secret codes like a computer wizard. Either way, they have total control. So, when you've got something this powerful and it costs absolutely nothing, you can probably guess what started to happen, right? Yep, companies all over the world are making the switch. This really lays it all out. When you put PostgreSQL right next to one of the old giants like Oracle, the difference is just, wow. Let's look at cost. You've got free versus very expensive. How about freedom to use it in the cloud? Well, PostgreSQL works anywhere and everywhere, while Oracle kind of likes to keep you in its own playground. And for all the new cool stuff like AI, PostgreSQL is usually way more flexible and a better fit.
You know, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, this picture is worth millions of dollars. Just look at this. The bar for how much it costs to use Oracle for just 1 year is huge.
And the cost for PostgreSQL? It's a flat line, right at zero. I mean, come on, it's a no-brainer.
And we're talking about a serious amount of money. The companies that make this switch say they cut their database costs by 40 to 60%. Think about that. That's money they can now use to hire more people or invent new products or just build more cool stuff.
All right, so let's just quickly recap the top 3 reasons everyone's jumping on board. Number 1, you save a massive amount of money. Number 2, you escape from being locked in with one company, so you have the freedom to work wherever you want in the cloud. And number 3, it's just plain better for all the futuristic stuff like AI and handling huge amounts of data.
So, what's next for our database hero? Because this story isn't just about how great PostgreSQL is today, it's really about where it's going tomorrow.
The amazing thing is, PostgreSQL is always getting better. New versions come out all the time that make it even faster. And if you look down the road, it's going to get even easier to use in the cloud, it's getting way smarter with AI, and it's even starting to learn how to tune itself up automatically. That global community is always pushing things forward.
And that really brings us to this one last big idea. Our whole world runs on data now. It's behind almost everything we do every single day. So if that's true, shouldn't the most powerful engine that runs it all be open and available for everyone, for anyone to use, to learn from, and to build the next amazing thing upon? Well, PostgreSQL proves that it absolutely can be. Thanks for tuning in.